Thank you, Patrick.
Okay, so what's gone on so far?
They're asking some preliminary questions for what you sent out today. Jim jokingly wanted to say, "Can I buy a bank?"
Why they can't what?
Could he buy a bank or a house or an RV?
Well, because they have to move the funds around first, okay?
Yeah.
And basically the corporate structure, banking structure and everything ain't going to let you play in their field as an independent. So you're going to become an independent banker in competition with them.
Very much.
And that's basically what's going on here, is that when we come out, we'll no longer be under their control. So, yeah, they're going to try and fight it. They're going to try and make it as difficult as possible. Everything that I've done so far has been right on the money, okay? I tried to go this route before with it, but I didn't have all the right pieces in there. So, but I was so damn close that it's ridiculous. I mean, in grading, an 80% gives you a passing grade. Well, I had more than an 80% on everything that I was doing. So, that the passport is, and you got to go in and you need to read that Title 46, and especially Chapter 73. And then 313 will come into play, and also 573. In 573, it says that basically we're not supposed to be using a vessel that's over 25 years old. 25 years was the date that we were supposed to be declared to be free. Okay? We were supposed to be a free man under no bondage. But they had a writer in there, the very last statement in there, that as long as it was done by foreign trade over the routes in the United States, then that vessel could continue to be utilized. Okay? So they're claiming these routes that we're driving on and everything else as foreign trade routes. They're not. They're American trade routes. And then, so you need to read, like I said, Title 5 or Section 573 again, and I had markups of that. Section 313 or Chapter 313, and in that one, one of the key ones is 313.06, Declaration of Citizenship. Okay? Except for, as provided by the Secretary, when an instrument transferring an interest in a vessel is presented to the Secretary for filing or recording, the transferee shall file with the instrument a declaration in the form the Secretary may prescribe by regulation stating information about citizenship and other information with the Secretary may require to show the transaction involved does not violate Section 561 and 562. A declaration under this section filed by a corporation must be signed by its president, secretary, treasurer, or other official authorized by the corporation to exercise the declaration. Okay, there's more to it, but that gives you pretty much the gist of what goes on there. Okay? And see, we are a president. Now we know we have all the key components. We know that we are a possession. Our possessor is the United States of America, the nation, the land. We came from the land, and we're supposed to go back to the land. Now, if you dig up your plot and go somewhere else and renounce your allegiance to this nation, and then put your plot over in some other place like England or something like that, yeah, then you're out of here. But we basically have the right to come in and claim that, okay? And then in chapter 73, it starts off, especially section 2, issuing merchant mariners documents and continuous discharge books. Your document is your certificate of live birth or your DD-214 form, or even your for the church, your baptismal certificate. Now, your continuous discharge book is your passport. You go on down and find in section 7302B, Secretary may also issue a continuous discharge book to an individual issued a merchant mariner's document if the individual request. That means you have to request it. You have to get that passport. And then they try and put stipulations on that if you have been a criminal or something like that, basically, they can deprive you of that. Well, in a lot of cases, the trumped-up charges that they have out here are all fraudulent to begin with, and half the time the reason was because they deprived you of your assets. They put you into a bind. Okay? By depriving you of your real inheritance. So you can contest that if they try and deprive you of getting that passport.
I guess for that is all in
But
place.
we need to do, when we go out to do our deposits with the Treasury, okay, we have to come in and we have to submit, like what I was doing those two forms earlier there, one for your certificate of live birth and one for your passport. The certificate of live birth is a merchant mariner's inherent entitlement document, and it's used for my valid depositing certificate of service, really. Okay, it's not, it does provide a little identification, but it is really for the certificate of service. The passport itself is the certificate of identification.
Okay.
And then the military one is for a military merchant mariner entitlement document against his military bounty account. So that's what I needed to talk to you guys about, is that you need to get these in there. I'm going to have to go back in and do another one that you put your copy of your on that document. and you ought to be able to take Word document and type that stuff in at the header of it, and then do a JPG of your certificate and paste it in the middle, and then come down and put your signature, signed, posted, signed, sealed, and dated, and so attested to by you. If you want to put the flag on, you can. If you don't have to worry about it. Just get it done. Put a 3-cent stamp up the top. You seal that however you want to, just with your thumbprint or with your embosser if you got one. Okay? One of the things that they did take out in one of the documents, let me see if I find that. Section 7303 requires seamen to retain their merchant mariner's document. It also specifies information contained in the document. Okay? In the initial one, they had a photograph. And then they had, after photograph, the thumbprint. See, you don't have your thumbprint any longer on your passports. It used to be you had to have it.
Hmm.
See, they tried to even take true identification away from you. So that you come in and you give a copy and you run a scan copy, and you need to use your original passport that you had. Okay? That's the one you need to try and use, because that's the one that they keep trying to send back to me. So I'm taking that was the original, just like on my DD-214 forms. I've got 2 DD-214 forms. My original or first DD-214 for my first 4 years of service, it has my selective service number on it. That is the serviceman account number, is your selective service number. It's 11 digits. It's like 3 digits, dash 2 digits, dash 2 digits, dash 4 digits. Just like the certificate of live birth is 11 digits in most cases, 3 digits, dash 2 digits, dash 6 digits. An 11-digit account. So that's where we are in the process. I'll send over to Tom an example of the one for the passport, what I wrote in. You guys can modify these whatever you want. I'm just throwing this out as to try and simplify things, because most people out here can't think outside the box. And I'm getting tired of doing all the thinking for you guys, okay? What thinking you guys do, in a lot of cases, deviates from the right path. And I've been on the right path this whole damn time. It's a lot of the deception and other stuff that people keep throwing at me that sometimes get me thrown off track. That's why I said the other night, I'm not listening to anybody else anymore about their opinions on certain things. It hasn't really helped me all that much, other than the people that I've talked with, people on certain things, getting feedback from them, hearing what they have to say, what the judges say, that they don't hear, that I can see now, like Bill with coming back from the Court of Claims. They didn't tell me that, but basically they told Bill that his ship was still at sea. That he needs to bring it in and port it. And then also, when they went to bankruptcy down there, my judge didn't tell me anything. Only the Secret Service is the one that questioned me after I went in and hit the bankruptcy judges up because they were trying to say that I was threatening them. Well, yeah, I am a threat to them because I know too damn much of the truth. But they knew that they really couldn't push the issue because they were now messing with America. The bankruptcy judge told Bill and his buddy there, hey, you can do this yourself. Well, we can do it ourselves. We just have to go out and do it. And I put all the information out there you guys need to go and look at. I put the documents up there, done all the templates for you. I've told you where all of this information is at. In the Postal Act of 1872. In the Insurance Act in 1887. In the Shipping Act of 1916. In the Tariff Income Tax Act of 1913. All these different things. 1938, 1939, when they converted the courts in this country into Admiralty, so that the states could then turn around and adjudicate their own certificates that they issued in Admiralty against us. The driver's license, okay? The marriage licenses at the state level, all for their benefit. Before, you had to take all those type items into the federal district court. They turned all those judges and everything into bar members, bank authorized representatives, or barter authorized representatives for either the state or the nation. That's what their bar cards are all about. Not working for the British consortium, but yeah, in a way, because the United States Corporation is a charter organization that's chartered out of England, out of the bankers in England. And it's a foreign corporation. The money order I had Tom post up there today was for a 1099-C, to be able to utilize that with the 1099-C to go out and do a purchase or a payment, like for your utility bills. But you have to have funds in your account first. Then you will use that document, okay, as your EIN, okay, either using your Social Security routing number or your assigned a state EIN or your 98 series EIN. And then your Treasury Bailment account is going to be your passport book number or your continuous discharging book number. And then you'll make that money order out, paid to the United States Treasury, and you just write on there what you want. Bailor, 1099-C, purchase and debt cancellation claim against my U.S. U.S. deposited bailment for what you want. Pay the utility bill. Okay, if you pay the utility bill, say so, make the payment to them, then it's already been prepaid. You turn around and do a 1099 OID against them. That you mark that 1099-C that, yes, they have to pay the debt back. Okay? Now you go and buy an automobile, you turn around and do one of these 1099-Cs, put your EIN or your SSN routing number, and then use your bailment account, and then you have the United States Treasury make the check out to the car dealership. You put down their EIN on the backside. You attach a 1099-C to go along with it, and you can mark that one. You don't have to mark that one that they need to pay you back. But you can still do the 1099 OID and recoup the discount of the funds that you used to buy that vehicle. So essentially, in their system, they have to pay us twice because of the discount that they're operating with. I also had Tom post up there a simple resident affidavit, my U.S.T-resident affidavit. Pretty much 2 simple paragraphs of stating who you are, who has possession over you, that you are not the possession of a corporation, but you're the possession of the land. The land is who is your real possessor. In other words, that is your damn God, people, if you knew what the hell the word God ever meant. Grounds of dominion. And the land of the United States of America is your grounds of dominion, your nation. Not a corporation that can rest and decay and go into nothingness. That's the hell on earth. That's the bankers. So, I hope that sort of explains what what those documents were about and why we need to get these in when we put our deposit in. And I'll also be posting up a document that will basically, and I'll read the statements so that it's on audio, okay? Because some people just can't think outside the box, like I said earlier. On the memo line, when you deposit, money order issued to remove American citizen-ship cargo to be a U.S. depositing bailment to be held on deposit by the U.S. IRS/Treasury depository. You could take off IRS Treasury or IRS off there if you want to, and they are as the bailee. You're the bailor. You're bailing off your ship. Okay, so you're the bailor, the one who does the bailing. Then on the backside, example of it, backside, of a depositing money order. Payment is a bailment transfer of American U.S. citizenship. In this case, I had DD-214N, military bounty, merchant mariners, asset cargo. Refer to the attached copies of my continuous discharge certificate, which would be my DD-214 in this case, and my continuous discharging book as the required certificate of identification and certificate of service to make the deposit transfer into the U.S. Treasury Department Protectorate Bailment Depository account to be held on deposit in the name of, and then you put the name that's on your passport book per the bailment / passport book account number. You put your account number and then say per foreign U.S. shipping and trading codes, Title 46, Chapter 73. Now you've got everything covered. But that's what we need to do, okay? So those two statements go on a depositing money order that you fill out and you send in 1040 or 1041B along with this money order, and then a copy of your either your certificate of live birth, your DD-214, the way I showed you the examples there, and then also the one for the passport. To give your certificate of service and your certificate of identification. You have to show your papers. Your foreign papers so that you can come ashore into the land of milk and honey, into heaven. Okay? Your American heaven. Okay. I think I covered just about everything. Got any questions?
Okay. What do we use the affidavit? Do we send that in with the deposit to the warehouse?
No. The affidavit, you can if you want to, okay?
Okay.
And have them put it on initially on file.
Right.
But that you need to send into the Secretary of the Treasury, into the Secretary of State, both the federal and the state level, into your judges. Okay? And basically, when you have your certificate totally brokered out, you need that affidavit on file that basically you're coming under the protection of the United States of America, and you're not relying upon this damn corporate world to give you any damn protections, because they ain't going to protect you worth shit.
Okay.
You have to force their hand, okay? They can commit all the treason and everything else within their system against the corporation because they're in hell already. And anything goes in their world against their corporation, as long as they don't affect the masters. But yeah, when it affects the lower people, yeah, they can get away with murder in a lot of cases because they're in hell. But in the real world, in heaven, they're responsible to Zeus. Okay? And we will Zeus the hell out of them.
Patrick, early on you said we should probably use our initial passport as opposed to our current one if we have more than one, the first one you're saying?
Yes, the first one should be your initial passbook savings or your continuous discharging book.
Thank you.
Okay? Like I said, I gave you an example. My DD-214 forms. I've got 2 of them. The second one is like a second issued passport. It doesn't have my service number on it. But my first one did, because that was the key one that really established my military service bounty claim. And see, that first passport that you get is your first continuous discharging book claim.
Patrick, when we use the money order to pay the bills with the 1099-C, do we have to send in a copy of the actual bill we're paying, or just refer to it?
If you got one, I would send it in with it, and just run a copy, scan a copy, print it in, okay?
Can we send it in money for more than the amount of the bill, so I just pay ahead?
No, Tom, just send the money in that you have to pay the bill, okay?
Okay. I just don't want to do it every month.
You might want to do it every month until you get an understanding of how the thing works, okay? Get practice makes perfect, okay?
Okay, right.
And when you get this practice done, you'll more than likely, they will want to stop all the stuff going into the IRS. And they'll probably get you out of the system and get you over to the side, and now you can start accounting for this, but you're still going to have to do 1099-Cs against them.
Okay.
Either claim back and have them pay the money back, but you have to do it on a monthly basis because that goes into their accounting books.
So practice makes perfect, and it's also a little annoying to them, and they'll want me out.
Yes. But like I said, when you make the payment to them, basically that sort of stops the item, and then basically now it goes into the accounting book that now they have to account for that payment, that bill that they just sent out, offset that, and then basically they need to adjust their interest and everything that they owe back to the Treasury.
Okay.
See? You do anything else, and you're going to screw up their process. Their accounting books.
Okay. So it may be easier for me, but it doesn't put the pressure on them that we want to pay ahead.
Yes, it'll put the pressure on them in the right way.
Right.
But you're not screwing up their books.
Right, okay, got it.
And see, that's what, by overpaying, in a lot of cases, these items, you're screwing with their books because they haven't accounted for what they need to bill out yet. See, this is all about accounting and about banking and quite a few other things, okay? That's what I mean. You need to start thinking outside the box and stop thinking of you in the whole damn process. There's others involved here.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now, if you're dealing with a utility or an oil company or something like that is delivering stuff, yeah, you can probably go in and put a deposit down, prepaying for oil deliveries in advance. But like with a public utility company, you can't.
Okay. When I did the payment to the electric company online with the routing number and passbook, they said I could pay up to 3 times as much. So, that's what I did with that. But I'm expecting that to come off. So I was wondering if I could go ahead and
yes, until maybe you get your authorization through the Federal Reserve banking system.
That's not going to.
Yeah, and there again, we probably needed to go in with our certificates in there. We'll see what happens. I haven't heard anything back. I haven't gotten any mail from any of the stuff that I sent out to the courts to anybody out here because they don't want to communicate with me because they know I'm on target. I was missing just a few items in the process, like the affidavit, and basically coming in with my identification. I was trying to crucify them.
Oh, and when we send in the certificate of live birth and DD 214, should we crucify them?
No.
No. Okay.
Those are living documents. Those are basically your claiming documents. Continuous discharge certificate. Okay, so you can continually discharge until you get all your cargo off the ship.
I'm on the phone.
And then your continuous discharging book, your passport. You can't crucify it because that's your continuous discharging book that you have to keep open until all your dischargements are off.
Okay. I see that you have Section 313 and 573 and previous directories, so I'll post that up there again. And also I have JPGs of the Don't Tread on Me flag with the slogan under it in JPG form, and I'll post that up too. Yeah. And people can use it or not.
Okay.
Any more?
Any other questions out there?
Looks like
Come on,
not.
people. Got questions. Okay? Open your mouth and speak. Don't wait till I get off the line and then start talking to one another and getting it all screwed up.
Patrick?
Yes.
I missed the first part when you said to look at 46U USC Chapter 73, and then you said another number before that, 15 or something?
The 3 main chapters in that are Chapter 73, Chapter 313, and Chapter 573.
In the US 46?
USC Title 46, about shipping.
Yep, go ahead.
And see, everything out here, these presidential trade agreements are really presidential shipping and trading or trade agreements.
Correct, but I wanted to make sure I was looking at the right document.
Yeah, I posted the Chapter 73 up there today, and I will post 313 and 573 tomorrow.
Okay, I'll look at them tomorrow then, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, and basically you look at those because I have already done some markups on those from, almost 2 years ago.
Yep.
Okay.
because, see, like I said, I've been at all the right doors. I just didn't have all my cards decked when I hit those doors.
Well, we'll just have to keep knocking on those doors.
Yeah, well, we're there, okay? We just had to pull them all together, and now we got it, okay?
Hallelujah.
Thank
but
you.
You have to have a passport, okay?
Got it.
And you should have your original passport, and that's what they also got a lot of people into, was throwing away a lot of your original documents, moving around. Luckily, I kept all my stuff in a briefcase wherever I moved to, and I moved more than I could say all of you people out there combined. So,
During your service time, you mean?
In the service time, and then working in nuclear power plants across the country. I worked in over 13 of them.
Yeah, you lived out of a suitcase, in other words.
Yes.
I moved 56 times. I worked down at Cook Nuclear Power Plant. Remember that, Patrick?
Yep.
That place was a mess.
Yep, D.C. Cook.
Oh, yeah. Those people were crazy.
But I've worked at them in Texas, Arkansas, Kansas, Arizona, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, and Tennessee. Over 13 of them.
Okay, so one more time on the foreign situs trust EIN. Is there a single document or something to help us to get the 3560 or whatever that those two documents filled out to get that number? That's kind of my stumbling block right now.
For the estate EIN?
No, I got the estate EIN. It's the other one.
For the foreign grantor trust?
Yes, sir.
You can do that online.
Yeah,
okay.
Try and do it online. Several people basically have run the gauntlet through that, so talk to the people online, either that or turn around and do the 3520 and the 3520A and send them out and say, hey, I need to have this EIN. Please, Mr. IRS man, go and get it for me.
Okay. I did my estate online. I didn't know I could do that one as well.
Yes, that, and see, they had this out in the open for everybody to see. It's right, and see, most everybody that has ever done an income tax has always done an Appendix A to the 1040 form. And one of the last things down there is talking about doing the 109 or the 3520 and 3520A as a foreign grantor trust. The other one is out as a bank out of Detroit, Michigan, with the form. No, I forget what the hell form number that is, but that's on there too. Okay, 44 something, 90-44 or 2 or something like that. And that would turn around and probably give you your proper banking. And then basically if you've got a direct express card, that is a possibility to utilize that. But I think that one, just a second. I'll tell you whether it is or not. Nope. That one's not the right one to use, because that one comes out of the Treasury, which is out of the corporate world. And see, that's where I was going wrong in trying to address. We were trying to take assets off the corporate vessel and throw them right back into the corporate vessel. And you don't want to do that. So that's why, in some cases, some of that never really transpired. Once you come out of hell, you don't want to really go back to hell, okay?
You got that right.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, hi, Patrick. It's Steve. On the USP resident affidavit, I know you're referring to the nation under the Articles of Confederation. Shouldn't we capitalize the T on the? I'm not trying to be nitpicky. I just thought it'd be correct.
You can if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I was going to do.
Yeah, it just sort of highlights it in the process, but most of them fully understand that when you tie the to it, that you're talking about the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll give you breaks on that one. Okay.
Right.
They only drop down to like 98 on that grading.
Right. So the last one, the bailment money order, that's just to take the money off the ship.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that was the one that we posted up the other day, and then I made about 3 or 4 changes to it, and then those statements that I read would be statements that you would use on that document.
Right. And U.S. possession was one, and boxing the postal identification zone or whatever, U.S. zone, postal private mailbox number. It was bracketed.
Right.
And you can use the Social Security or EIN routing number on the bottom left. Yeah. Okay.
Because basically most all your documents are tied to, and see, it's just a number. And then, like even in where it talks about in chapter 573, section 808, use of vessels at least 25 years old. An obsolete vessel acquired under this chapter that is or becomes at least 25 years old may not be used for commercial operations. However, the vessel may be used during a period in which the vessels may be requisitioned under Chapter 563 of this type, or except as otherwise provided in this subtitle on trade routes servicing only the foreign trade of the United States. And see, everything you're doing out here is on a trade route.
So really, we shouldn't have to register or anything. You shouldn't have to register or license or anything. It's like exempt.
Well, but you have to servicing only foreign trade, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the trade routes are American trade routes first. Then the foreign corporations have overlaid and claimed those trade routes as theirs.
Right, when they did their survey.
Well, whatever. They just overlaid it. They didn't resurvey everything again. They zoned, and they just claimed it as their trade routes, okay, through their registration of the railroad-type system of basically everything along the railroad track belongs to them. See, that's where the railroads come in those titles in the railroad statutes. That we talked about, about 6, 7, 8 months ago, or
right,
a year ago, or better. Whatever.
Congress gave them every other section with all the mineral rights and able to mortgage it and borrow money.
Yes, but every building that is alongside the rail line belongs essentially to the jurisdiction of the railroad. That's what they were claiming. You have to go in and debunk that scenario back and claim back to, no, this really belongs to America. This is a possession of the United States of America.
Right.
And that I have my full rights of the American trade routes, which are the living routes, not the corporate routes. We can always rip up the railroad's line.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done that with a hell of a lot of railroad tracks in this country. Trying to put all rail movement on wheels, rubber wheels. Because those rubber wheels leave tracks too. So they're laying their tracks as they go wherever they want to.
Right. Yeah, it's good. It's good discussion to tie it all in together. It helps you understand it and remember it easier.
Uh-huh.
Well, I've completed that question.
Okay. Anybody else?
Patrick, I have a question.
Yeah.
I really can't, I really can't do any 1099-Cs until after I do the money order to put stuff in the warehouse.
You can't do any 1099-Cs with a money order, yes.
Right. So the money has the account has to be in the warehouse before I do any of the 1099-As or Cs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because if I do it and it's not in the warehouse, it'll just be rejected, or it wouldn't go through.
You're not going to have authorization because you haven't debarked or deloaded your cargo off the foreign ship that's being held under foreign jurisdiction.
Yeah, it's still floating around.
That's where you have to get your lawful claim in, that basically that is an American ship, okay? An American vessel.
So it's still out to sea. I just have to pull it in put it in the warehouse.
Yeah, and basically that's what you have to do. And basically if you need support, you can try and support the other people until if they have their proper documents out here of the passport and everything else, and if you don't have yours, you can try and give them support
until they get
in
there.
the meantime, whether by helping them talk this stuff through or whatever, and then maybe they can, when they get some funds out of their account, they can send some funds to you to basically go and get your passport if you haven't got one, so that now you have, and whatever else you might need, okay? Sort of like what Schindler did with his list. That's what he was doing, trying to help the people get their right documentation.
True. Got it. So get your stuff into the warehouse, do the circulation, attachment, and appendix, and then do the 1099s, C to discharge, or A to A with the OID to get it back, I think. All right, I'll mute. Did I get cut off?
No.
Oh,
No, we
okay.
hear you.
Maybe Patrick got cut off.
Well, I don't hear him, even though his number is still registering as on. Maybe his battery died.
Oh, he's puffing. Oh, he's puffing away on his cigarette.
Okay. The many cigarettes you gave him.
I heard his beeper going off quite a bit.
Yeah, this is Pat. I'm back on the line. My battery died, so I had to plug it in.
Okay.
So I'm back. But anyway, I was talking about Schindler's List over there in Germany. Okay, but he was helping the people get their documents so that they could get out of the system. That's all this is. You have to get your proper documentation so you can get the hell out of hell. Get out of town. Now I've got all the documents properly identified. We knew that we needed a continuous discharging book. I thought that it was in the initial write-up that I had under the Title 46, Chapter 73, that it was all tied to the DD-214 or the Certificate of Live Birth. No, it's the passport book. That's our continuous discharge book that we have to record our discharges in as a withdrawal or a departure. I mean, a deposit or a departure. Or withdrawal, whatever.
Hey, Patrick, you mentioned to me today that we're each going to have to come up with an accounting system to keep track of all of this. Do you want to go into this for them?
Well, basically, you either use your passport book as an entry in a withdrawal, or you set up, you can convert that over into an Excel file to where you have your things there that you can keep track of, okay? I'm not going to tell you what to do, okay? There's numerous different ways. Ledger books, okay? You need to know about accounting. That was initially what I was going to go into when I went to junior college, was into accounting. But I thought that most of those accountants were nitwits, so I decided I didn't want to go that route. And after going up there to the insurance building, basically I reiterated that fact that most of them do look like nitwits. They're all controlled. And I always hated to be controlled. I've always been out of control.
That's why we like you.
Well, it shouldn't be any harder than running a checkbook, but I guess some people can't run a checkbook either.
You're damn right about that. I mean, how many other times you've been overdrawn?
Cool, man, cool.
Yeah, and the way the bankers do it nowadays, they don't send you your canceled checks back on a monthly basis or anything like that, so you can go through and see whether you made a mistake, whether you didn't put an entry in appropriately to account for all the ins and the outs. You almost have to beg them to get a damn copy of that. And that's supposed to be a requirement, that they have to give you a receipt back. A monthly statement showing that, because basically they're the bailee and you're the bailor to that bank, and that is one of the record-keeping obligations that they owe to the bailor.
Good point.
That's why they're trying to hide it more with everything online, too.
Yeah. They try and pull more curtains up there and more smoke and mirrors and everything else about you around.
I can't read print, but I can go on I got a debit card, and I go on the telephone. I check my balances every day, and there's been a few times when I was glad I did because somebody tried to get money out of there, and it was either unauthorized or I didn't realize I had not canceled an order or whatever.
Yeah, and basically their system is a nightmare, okay, because they're in hell. And only nightmares come from hell. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, I got a question.
Okay.
It's on a Federal Reserve one where you had an RBN number. Do you have to use your Social Security number? And
right.
You said,
for right now, yeah. If you don't have an EIN number, you use your Social Security number.
Okay. Well, you just answered that one. That's out the way. The other question was on your money order when you're putting in your Social Security number and your birth certificate number, and then birth certificate is the one that's on the top. Do you use the dashes, or you just leave them out?
Well, you can either use dashes or spaces. I'm on these type money orders. I'm putting the dashes in. They can take them out when they plug it into their system.
Okay, because I remember some time ago you was like, use the back of your Social Security card and don't change the letter. But now you're saying just use the number on your Social Security. You pretty much know what it is, correct?
For the routing to the Treasury, your certificate tied to your Social Security number, okay? And like if you've got a military service, your Social Security number is on that document also. Those are your initial depositing routing numbers that you will make use in the system. You don't use an EIN when you're making the initial deposit. Only when you come out have you got an authorized EIN to route the money out from that account, because those routing numbers are attached to your Social Security number. So now you can go into the main depot and route on a subtrain out to somewhere.
Okay, so I can
just think about it as a train station.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that I do it right, the first time, Patrick, because I already filled out the papers and typed out, and I'm going to send in the Federal Reserve first, because I already made out the money order for $500,000. And I just
well, they don't have the money, okay? They have to get us to debark the money off our ship to them.
Right. I mean, you got it right here on the paper, so... Yeah. I just wanted to put in my signature card first.
Yeah, well, you can put those things in, but basically, this is really where we want to be, is over here with the Treasury Department, because that's the one that's attached to the nation. Okay, that Federal Reserve's attached to the corporation.
Right.
That's still in hell. That's why they issue a black card with that one, because it's from hell.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
Wow. That's ugly. That's ugly. Wait a minute. Is that something like they're dealing with the dead or something that they keep popping up with?
Yeah, the dead are in hell.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, you're in Hades.
Okay.
Patrick,
in Greek and Roman mythology, okay?
And Patrick is Jacob's ladder.
Yeah. Oh, well, I a long time ago, and that's one.
Yeah, see, you have to get that passport, and see, that's what I said the other night, or last several calls. The passbook or the passport is you have to pay the ferryman to be able to go to hell and come back.
Wow. Wow. Well, I got all three of them, Patrick.
Okay.
The estate.
Well, is that about it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other quick questions? Okay, call tonight, Tom. I'm out there. I gotta go take care of my mom.
Yeah,
Thank you, Patrick.
I know you had a long day. Thank you for your work. Thank you.
I'll send those over to you by fax here shortly.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrick.